I remember your audition speech for RADA, which was from a show we'd been to see at the Royal Court called The Coloured Museum.
George C. Wolfe.
Yeah. And it was a brilliant speech about a girl giving birth to an egg. And she was a girl, wasn't she? She was like a child.
A little girl, yeah. Girl. I saw it on the Royal Court, and I just thought, oh, I'll copy that.
Great choice, though.
Yeah, and I did, can't even think, King Lear, that was it.
Right.
And I watched it, and I basically just copied the way the actor...
Well, you know.
I just found 8 lines that ran together and just kept playing it over and over again, and then just copying the inflections. And then just sort of went in, did my modern, that was all fine, then did the Shakespeare, and then I can't remember the person that was auditioning was like, can we just try it another way? And I was thinking, another way? And it was...
Who do you want me to do this time?
There was no other way. You know, but anyway, so it wasn't a perfect audition.
No, but it
somehow
worked.
It worked, yeah.
Were you confident when you did the audition? Did you feel that it had gone well?
I don't know. I tried for a couple of other dramas and got in.
Yeah, I
remember thinking, I tried for 3 and got in for 3 at that time.
Right,
so I remember thinking, by the time I got to RADA, I think I'd already got placed somewhere else. I was feeling slightly more confident, but it was very rigorous. I had to, I think, go 3 times, and it was very, very nerve-wracking. And we weren't quite sure what they were looking for, but I sort of understood about taking direction quite early.
Okay.
And so I realised that it wasn't so much about having the perfect speech or doing it the perfect way, but understanding that you could perhaps listen and change and adapt to what someone was asking you to do. Yeah. It's taken me a while to think about what I learned there. I think after a while you sort of undo some of the stuff. What it gave to me is I made some really good friends, a couple of whom are still my friends today. And I think the other thing that it did for me is it got me to read a lot of stuff quite fast. And I didn't have a university background, it sort of got me to, I didn't know who Chekhov was when I didn't know who Stanislavski was, I didn't know all these things when I went to RADA. And so in a very short space of time, I suddenly knew, by the end of the first year, who all these people were, and I'd read quite a lot. But some of the voice stuff was just so important. I didn't really realise how important while I was there. It felt a bit of a chore. And then years later, I was like, oh, right, I understand.